My name is Charissa Dimizioli. A psalm that's really meant a lot to me during my life is Psalm 55, verse 22. Cast your cares on the Lord and He'll sustain you. He will never let the righteous be shaken. I was actually assigned that verse at the end of my 8th grade year when I got confirmed. I heard that verse and I was like, okay, it's kind of a cool verse. And I just tucked it away in the back of my mind. And anytime things got hard, I would always kind of regurgitate that verse to myself, be like, I just got to cast my cares on the Lord and He'll sustain me. But it wasn't until I was off on my own in college where I really realized what that meant, casting my cares on the Lord and not relying on myself. I had fallen away from going to church because it was just a lot easier to sleep in on Sundays, and I didn't have a car, so I didn't want to bother trying to find rides to church. I just wasn't following God in the ways I should have. I ended up getting into a relationship that was just not healthy in a whole lot of ways. It was toxic on a lot of levels and abusive, and I was depressed, but I never got out of it because I thought, okay, God's got a hand over everything. When this relationship ended, the person broke up with me, I was left feeling so useless and defeated. I did not know where to turn. I didn't even think about turning to God. I thought suicide seemed like a really, really good option and seemed like my only option at the time. God intervened and sent some friends my way to pull me up out of the pit. And as a part of my recovery, my confirmation verse came to mind because it's one of those verses that I just always had. And I thought, cast your cares on the Lord and He'll sustain me. I hadn't been casting my cares on the Lord. I wasn't letting Him sustain me. He saved me. But that was a big part of my recovery process, to just remember, I've got to give it to God. I've got to stop trying so hard to sustain myself and take on everything myself, because we're not meant to do that. We can't do that. I couldn't handle my own cares and everything. So I turned everything over to God, and I still, to this day, anytime things get hard, we all have moments where we get anxious or depressed or lonely, or just have things in life that are going on that are so hard to handle. I just got to cast it on God, and He will sustain me. He promises He will never let me stumble. I don't need to listen to the lies of the world, and I don't need to follow the ways of the world. I just have to keep turning to God. So that's what Psalm 55, verse 22 is really meant for me in my life.